first levels of bad porn.
And we're back up.
Nirvana.
That's right.
Oh, is this it? Test? Is it next headroom? Are you muted?
I don't hear anything online. That's
That's Twitch. Test. Could you...
Okay.
Test. Boy. Test. What?
Test.
That sounds good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Alright. BRB.
No, I just did it again when he was leaving.
Ah.
Oh. I'll keep myself muted.
Sorry about that, guys. I don't know how OBS decided to switch back to a software rendering instead of hardware, but it did.
No, it looks good now. It's up and running.
Okay. How's it now?
Oh, it's way better.
Oh, okay, great. Sorry, we're struggle busting with the internet today. Okay, so Nirvana is your previous patron, right? Is that what you were asking?
Yes. So I'm gonna go to Candlekeep with Nirvana, and I are gonna become really close. We're gonna learn about Avernus. Who's there? Somebody's there. Right?
Oof. Can you do me a favor? I know it's going to be frustrating. You just switch to default. Just go straight to default audio. Default.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That sounds way better.
Okay, so you and Nirvana are going to take off, and he's just going to scoop you up in his diva arms and just fly you through the clouds all the way to Candlekeep. And you said you're going to meet someone there. So yeah, you can. So what we'll say is, as we work through this, your initial take is you want to go to Candlekeep and study as much as you can about the Avernus. You brought the Book of Leadership with you. So you want to gonna sit down and read up on how to raise your charisma and level up. So you'll get there. You remember you grabbed a few books from the library there. The diva grabbed some stuff, and in order to get into Candlekeep, you've got to provide some literature that's, rare, but you're just, due to the fact that who you are, you're taking in like right away. And your goal is to study the Avernus. So go ahead and roll let's do a wisdom check based on, reading, or wisdom or investigation. So intel check or wisdom, whatever you decide, with advantage.
Give me 1 second.
And I think it's Puff just popped in somewhere. If you're out in the universe, a potential PC that we're gonna have here soon. I think she's out there in the internet world. Welcome.
So I rolled a 16.
Roll a 16. Okay. Yep. So you're welcomed into Candlekeep due to the fact that you experienced a lot of cool things, and the initial interrogations of what you know about Avernus are one thing, and you run into another tiefling that lives there currently, and her name is Silvira Savicus.
Can I call her Elvira?
Yep, sure. as Henry has ruined every NPC name that we had. So Silvira Savicus, she's got like a little closet, I think, as a little companion. And she's like the head PhD, of the Avernus. And she's like well read, and she takes you off to her little area, and you begin your study. Initially, you said that you and Nirvana become close. That blossoms as Nirvana is like shares the same feelings. Let's see. And you departed, and Kygon and Krokgar departed with Daylan Winterhound. Who we missing? Connor. So your initial steps are everybody leaves, a weird Superman scene with, Nirvana and Epione. He embraces her and flies off, and you're kind of like, okay, bit weird. And they fly, and you can see things happening there. Manu, Cara Dune, they get on their big wagon wheel with Daisy and Daisy and Daryl, the plate-mailed oxen from 3 years ago. They depart. And if I remember, in true Jan Ziska form, isn't it a tank?
Yeah, it's an armored up. It's an armored up wagon with a ballista on it.
Yeah. So that's moving out, and yeah, I'm half tempted to just roll Kara. Do you remember Kara? You remember Kara Puff? Skylar, she's in Discord.
Yep. No,
I'm half tempted to just be like, come on in. But anyways, you see them leave, Connor, as you naturally in your Artemis way. You kind of hang back, you take in the scenario. Jamna's gonna stick by you as your lieutenant. I believe. So give me what's your initial trajectory of what you want to do, and then we'll roll on it.
Okay, my initial trajectory. Sorry, that horrible word with T in it.
Yeah.
Is to basically identify the Zentrum that are loyal to me versus the evil ones.
Okay.
And from that, what I'm going to basically do is stage a coup within the Zentrum to take it over fully and to weed out the ones that I don't like.
Okay. Do charisma check with advantage.
Only 19s were critical, but 19. So hang on. 19 and charisma's that. Just a standard charisma check, so that would be 21.
Okay. Initially, Jamna has. You don't know many agents, right? Like you don't know who, but Jamna does. And Jamna is able to, through the Zentarum that were on the battlefield, the majority of the Zentarum that actually showed up on the battlefield are, a solid third of them, we'll say. That's not a majority. Good math. But anyways, we'll say about 20. Now you got to think about the mindset of some of these dudes.
Oh yeah, no.
Join an organization like this. Anyway, so Nightshade, what's her name? Ryan Nightshade, I think is her name is. She maintains the majority. You took about Jamna and 20 with you, and is your initial take. And these guys, not only they want to see what this is about, and they will leave the battlefield and go to wherever you want to go to. And you said
two things. It's basically what I'm looking initially, because if I just go straight to Darkhold and do that, there's going to be some few issues. So what I'm thinking initially is based on what's happened here, the spy networks of the Zentrum and the Harpers are in disarray at the moment. A lot of their spies got killed trying to find all this information out.
Correct.
So I'm basically going to form a secret police type thing of spy network.
Okay. Now a secret police that's who
A little bit more
governs
a little bit more active than
Okay.
secret police, but yeah.
them. Okay. All right. And is it for hire? Is the information, or do you work for like the Lord's Alliance? You know what I mean? Like,
We're independent.
okay. Oh,
And the
okay.
reason we're independent is because
You're like
I
ISIS
expect-
Archer.
I expect now that the bigger threat's gone,
Okay.
that there's going to be a lot of infighting and a lot of turmoil in the realms.
Okay.
And I personally don't believe that the do-gooders that'll be sat around chatting in their council rooms will actually be able to get things done.
Okay. Okay, and you're still upholding some sort of business. Like, what about the business part of Zentarum?
Yeah, no, we're still involved in information,
Okay.
and we're still involved with sort of smuggling and stuff like that. Because to be fair, that's where a lot of the contacts come for these sort of things.
Okay.
And we're just not involved. Slavery is getting abolished in my regime. That's
Okay.
gone.
Okay.
That's so passe.
Yeah, it's not 2022. We can't have slavery anywhere. Just got to just basically change it on everything.
So, how about this? Can I roll something to find out if Connor shared anything with Henry?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
do whatever you want. Obviously, you guys are going to write each other over the next. So anybody that wants to, hey, I want to use this info, or because I'm
Yeah.
already seeing with whatever Dragonoff is building, you know, like this is good. I like this shadow governance stuff. Yeah, go ahead, Henry.
So I will come out of my little conversation with Lady Lariel, Neverember, and all them, and confided, guys, I think I fucked up. I tried to go in there and make some peace, but man, fucking Neverember don't like me no more. Just kind of being defeated and given enough social cues for Connor to pick up that.
Well, does he need to be told to step down?
Who?
Neverember.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think I don't think we can drop a king. I mean, we dropped a 5-headed dragon, so I'm not going to take it out of the realm of
If we
possibility.
dropped a god, I think a king would be no problem.
Yeah, I've seen how this works in Game of Thrones.
Isn't he at level
But-
20 as well?
Neverember? Yeah, he's big. He's a big deal.
And again, I will express my sadness and share my thoughts that are very similar to Connor's thoughts. That we finally eliminated the one big baddie. We pulled everybody together, but I completely agree with you that shit's going to turn into a shit show, and everyone's going to scramble for wealth, money, power, all that kind of stuff. We got to do something. The Harpers are gone. I know this, right? Because of my
Yes.
station with the Harpers.
Yeah. Because you were the head in the party. You were the head of the Harpers, right? At the time.
Yeah. At the time,
Okay.
Epione and I think Epione and I were both in the Harpers. Maybe a year ago.
So,
one
so
of
I'm
you-
thinking, you see, if we combine there's like 3 little parts of this really. We've got the classic spy network of the Harpers that isn't around anymore. We've got the spy network of the Zentrum, which isn't around anymore. We've also got all the scouts and sneaky people from everything got killed in this as well. We need to sort of come up with a new way of doing this. And to be honest, we don't want our name on this. We want this as it happens, and we're like the hidden lords of this, so people don't know it's us, because otherwise there'll be a targets on our back, and we need to make sure that, let's say, some of the more outspoken zealots curb their appetite a little bit.
Are kept in check.
Yes.
Yeah. I will confess my lack of faith of moral compass for the powers that be, which is part true on my own personal account. However, this can't stand. We got to. I will say, Henry, and you're aware, my moral compass is more linear. It's not. I would say it's not positive or negative in that way, but I'm here for the people, and unfortunately, when these sort of things happen at these levels, generally the people at the bottom are the ones that get the worst end of the stick. I completely agree with you, and this time, this PAX, this peacetime that we're about to encounter, I don't think it's going to bode well for a lot of the Forgotten. And let's work this one out between the two of us. Let's figure out something. My intention is to stay in Waterdeep and kind of guide things as best I can from there with our riches and with the help of our samurai fighter friend. Totally gonna make.
To be honest, that's a good thing.
Why make this a two-man plan?
Ooh, I like this.
Why not?
So you guys were all like leaving, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Let's. Yeah. You want in on?
I'm going back to Phandalin to rebuild.
Okay.
The Wave Echo Caves and the Forge needs to be reignited and retaken back. I'm going to get that back up and running. Connor, we can funnel money and arms to your organization as we need be, and still generate money.
That sounds good. Or the other thing we can do is, Henry, if you're going back to Waterdeep, bear in mind that the Zentrum, no one likes the Zentrum. Can we organize some type of plan to take out the rest of the Zentrum from our friends in Waterdeep to leave a bit more of a vacuum that we can fill?
I will speak.
Because no one likes slavery. No one likes that, and we've got a few names of people who are in key positions. Cut the heads off of them, and also keep our hands a bit clean.
Give me a list, and I will work with the network that I put together when I get there to help make that a reality.
I'll get the list off of my lieutenant.
So, if I'm gathering this correctly, the Harpers and the Zent are like the white Zentarum, and the Harpers that remain, like the Connor Zentarum, or whatever the brand. It's rebranding.
I'll be rebranding at some point. I'm just okay. I'm in negotiation with a marketeer at the moment to get a decent
understood
emblem and stuff.
So Henry, Manu, Dragonoff, Connor are running this side of it, trying to stabilize, root out things like slavery, human trafficking, things like that we're building in Waterdeep to Phandalin. Now, do you want to go into your, Manu, like what your plan is for Phandalin to, you said Neratar, correct? Over the next 6 months.
So over the next 6 months to a year. So my plan is to rebuild and basically rebuild Phandalin. After the Red Dragon hit, obviously it needs to be rebuilt. So we'll be rebuilding Phandalin, reopening the Wave Echo Caves. Ash is going to do Ash things. Go away.
He's like, no, I don't listen to you. I don't take orders from you.
Additionally, I'm going to my plan, or at least my goal, is to increase the footprint of Phandalin essentially, and the sphere of influence that Phandalin has down to Leylon and the Mare of Dead Men, which is right outside where Castle Neratar is. Start to rebuild Castle Neratar to protect the portal. Protect the portal, but also B, start dredging out the Mare of Dead Men to make a new port, so that we don't have to rely on either Waterdeep or Neverwinter for any type of trade. And then finally kind of rebuilding the road that Never Ember wanted to stop. I will continue making that safe. There's a crossroad. If you look at the map here, I'm gonna zoom in here. So the high road here, I think the Tribor Road runs from Tribor down here.
Yep.
Yeah,
just follow the train feature. That's basically the road.
Yeah, so Phandalin's right here, Leylon is right here, and then there's kind of a road that goes like this. So Cragmaw Keep, I'm gonna build a road here and assign somebody to keep that up and running in the area as a fortress, and then build a pass-through fort, fortifications in the middle of the high road here to either guard against anybody coming from Neverwinter that may become a potential threat, but also just to give some stability to the traders with
so you have
vendors there.
Your trusted agents, which count as basically you, right? Or Kara, Droop. So you have Kara and Droop. You have Darren. He's pretty much, someone that you can use to command or lead a place. So that's for you. And what I'll say is, in these 3 locations, Castle Neratar and its operations to dredge and stuff like that, if you put an agent there that's like basically you for that time period to like supervise it, then you can roll with advantage on what happens.
Gotcha. So I'll put Darren at Cragmaw Keep.
Oh, okay.
And then I will put, what was the name? Hold on a second. Let me go to my notes.
And you have, so Connor, your agents are Jamna and Jonata. If you remember, Jonata was the one that you found in Elturel. He was acting kind of squirrely with the Zentarum information. He abandoned a bunch of the dudes, and if you want to make friends with Warduke, you can spend a year making friends with Warduke.
So
he's still in the area.
I'm going to put Gale Dox and Treville. Both of my captains.
Yep.
I'm gonna kind of put them for the time being at Castle Neratar until I can find somebody else that can until the port is built.
Okay. And you want to keep your ships there as well, because you have 2 boats, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll have those 2 ships moored out in the Mare until the port is built, and Gale Dox and Trevi will oversee the renovations of Neratar and the port.
Okay. All right. All right, go ahead and do a I don't even know what kind of check that would be.
Luck.
we could just stay with charisma because you're keeping track of how you you manage this operation.
Right. So
that one
is a 16.
Okay. All right, and then Leylon, who's there? Or that walkthrough fort.
The walkthrough fort.
Fort Shellbucks.
Fort Shellbucks. It's just a big Shellbucks.
Yeah.
It's a drive-through.
Yeah.
Just the first drive-through.
It's the first drive-through Shellbucks. I'll put Sister Gariel there to run that.
Okay. All right. Yep. Go ahead and roll with that with advantage.
That's a nat 20. So 21.
Okay. So basically like a fort necessity.
Yes.
You know, it's just a wooden palisade somewhere along the way, and you can drive through and break right. Oh,
I'm making notes.
Excellent. This is awesome. Excellent. Okay, that fort becomes, she takes your star fort situation, and it's wooden, a wooden star fort that you can drive through. There's a shell bucks there, and she turns it into like traveling merchants and stuff like that. There's a nice tent city that's outside of it, and that one's kind of booming. And then Cragmaw with Dayland, go ahead and roll there.
Shit, another nat 20. That was a 20
All
and
right.
a 3. So that another 21. Shoot.
He
That's
patches
awesome.
that up, and he's got he develops a small garrison there as well in Cragmaw, and because it's the north of the Tribor, the hobgoblins and the many arrow tribe, they kind of diminish. All right, and then Phandalin operations, that's you.
That's
so you can go ahead
specifically.
Yep. So go ahead. You can roll because you got Kara and Droop there. Let's see what happens.
An 18.
Okay. The forge gets running. Noondro and Gundren. Some dwarves that are the fallout from the Felbar battalion. They go and reside there. So about 40 dwarves from what the remnants of the Felbar battalion. They take. The ones that didn't take Foz back to Mithril Hall to entomb him in Mithril Hall, they come back and they take up the mines there, pushing back any chance for, beholders and mind flayers to come up the river, and they get that up and running. You add extra to the Stronghold, you build it up. It's now like Fort Ticonderoga level Star Fort. It's pretty awesome. And the Wizard's Tower and the Vineyard. Were you planning on?
Do I have anybody else that could?
Everybody
really
pretty
take care of
did.
that? Yeah. That might be another project for later on.
Later on? Okay.
Yeah.
So that one's still, there's a little bit of decay there. You go up and visit it or whatever, but yeah. And then someone buries Sildar somewhere. So he's entombed somewhere. All right. So let's go down to the Kygons. Kygon and Krotgar. You guys get into the Sunset Mountains. There are remnants of baddies and dragons that take refuge there easily. There's like an adult green dragon that lives in the area, and Warduke, he joins this league of whatever. He's kind of in the area. It's a league of something, I can't remember. So one thing that you do know is in the Sunset Mountains, Connor's taking up residence in Darkhold. So whether that fits into your druidic okay or not, there is a significant urban device that's inside the Sunset Mountains, if you guys are kind of okay with that. You guys take up next to the river or whatever.
So we
I like you guys are both wearing blue shirts too.
best color.
So we head back, and I'm gonna go to my.
Come on, Grandpa. There he is.
We This time good? Okay, there we go. Sweet. All right, so I can hear you back. Yeah. All right, that's fine. We head back to our homes and find them pretty much leveled. I mean, they were pretty much ash when we left before. So I decide that I want to go with Kaigon to my original Lizardman village, and we start heading that direction towards the swamp.
Okay. All right. What do you guys want to develop in the Sunset Mountains? Like, what are you guys trying to? You guys want to secure it? You guys can both roll together to see what how the Sunset Mountains, how you cleared that out. If you guys want to roll with advantage, one of you guys can do it. It's fine. It's almost a guarantee with 2 PCs that are like level 15 to do this, but just in case you roll the 2 nat ones.
I rolled a nat 20.
Oh, you did? What did he get? I want to know what he got. 2. 2? Okay. Yeah, so Krokgar, Kaigon, you got the hammer, you were running things in the Sunset Mountains, but this is kind of Krokgar's coming up as he takes the lead on driving out all the denizens of the Sunset Mountains. And the Sunset Mountains over the year, nature returns. Dayland does a fantastic job, with many rituals, bringing back, the game that was there, and the desolation, almost in the next season, goes away. You guys really go into bringing back the beauty of the Sunset Mountains, and that returns. Say the Skyreach. What's up?
Part of what he had planned was he's gonna find. Well, he's got a plan. Let him do his thing real quick.
So I, on my way to my old village, I want to find Nakai, which is my other character.
Okay.
Like beaten up and like on the edge of death from the village attacking him.
Okay.
And then me and Kaigon kind of like save his life and defend him from what was once my tribe.
Okay.
And like,
are you still part of this tribe? Are you now like?
I'm not anymore. I okay. Abandoned it after some questionable decisions made by the leadership. Like morally corrupt decisions that I just didn't agree with. Since I'm neutral, and they were starting to get a little evil.
Okay. All right. evil. Full on evil. Okay. So do you plan on turning the alignment of the tribe, or do you want to, like, the tribe disbands and leaves the area forever?
So me and Kaigon go, and after saving Nakai and talking to him and hearing about how bad it gets, we just go there and annihilate the tribe.
Oh, tight.
Ironically, we were.
Oh, you muted. You were good.
Now?
Yep.
Okay. So we were talking about slavery being a big issue with the tribe, and then they went on the huge thing about slavery. So we were like, well, shit, we're just jumping on their bandwagon at this point.
No, that's good. Because even with Connor and the Darkhold, this is why I wanted to run this session like this as you guys were doing this, kind of develop backstories for the interlude. Is Connor, you like in your area, that obviously those parts of the Zentarum or whoever feeds into the trafficking or whatnot, you guys can kind of merge as well, at least in that region. So now, if you think about the span of influence, Sunset Mountains, there's a pocket of El Terrell Baldur's Gate, and then Waterdeep all the way up to Phandalin is kind of an area over the next year that you guys have turned into whatever righteousness or whatever path that you guys were kind of getting on your rebrand. Okay, So what I'll also offer up, it takes roughly, if what you guys just did, battling it out there, I'll say, here's something I'll ask the party. As we go into the Descent to Avernus, do you want the dopamine push of your next 4 levels? Or do you want to level up here? Right? So, and if you do level up here and that's what you choose, you got to back it up with the scenario that went down. And I'll allow you guys to be like, hey, then we went off and we fought that green dragon. I'm not saying I just made that up. Whatever you want to have done or whatever. And so if you want to gain a feat or if you want to gain a level, you know what I mean? As long as you can back it up into your lore, then that's fine. Like, so Henry, I'll give you like a problem. You put it all back together and you know, if you want to level up through this, you know, you build a cathedral and your ministry resolve a problem with Neverember, and you heal that by being an unmasked lord of Waterdeep or something like that, as Lady Lariel backs off or whatnot. Dragonoff, like same thing, like you solved it and you went and you did X to level up or gain a feat, because we got a lot of time to work that out. And let's play Dungeons and Dragons, like you go through the PHP and be like, hey, what's this feat, and we kind of talk about that sort of stuff. And that's half the fun for me in D&D is like opening up the DMG and like playing with, you know what I mean, like different skills and stuff like that. Same with you, Manu. You mentioned to me an individual you wanted to talk to, and then that deal, you know what I mean, can kind of go down. So same with you, Epione. If you wanted to level up or whatever, as you went in Candlekeep, we kind of talked offline because yes, we are married. So you know, she'll be talking about, you know, working as a nurse, and I'll be like, yeah, whatever. Let's talk about your character. You know, let's focus on what matters right now. Let's talk about your backstory. So let's say, you know, what's up, babe? I mean,
We
Epione?
level up from defeating Tiamat.
Yes, you leveled up. So everybody leveled up
An additional level.
potentially, or gain another feat or a something, you know, that you want your character to have right now. So I'm giving you a lot of, everybody's their own DM for this next year. Okay, so I may or may not have stifled something, but you are your own DM over the next year, up to including a level, but be a good DM about it. Like, be a fair. Go ahead, Connor. Yeah.
So, at least for me, I know that there was a lot of questions from Kara about what happened with me in the Wayback Caves with the brain and then the eye, and why the hell I look the way I do now. Once.
Oh yeah. Oh, say the term. What are they called? What's your called? I'm just.
Oh no, I haven't even gotten there yet.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
So
many dad jokes have happened.
In the interim, once we get back to the Stronghold, I'm going to kick everybody out except for Kara and Droop, and I would like to call a meeting with Passacor.
Okay.
In the Stronghold with everybody there.
Okay.
And
you're bringing the party back.
No, not the party. Kara,
just
Kara and
Drew.
Yeah. To essentially introduce them to Daddy, and get their
and lay it out
and lay it out
to them, like, go out of the way.
This is what happened. I died. Like, listen, I died, and thanks to Connor, you know, Passacor brought me back a little bit different, a little bit stranger. I'll wait for him to come back.
Did you say wait for Tim to come back?
Yes, I'm waiting for Tim to come back.
He can't disagree with anything you say, though, if he's not here.
No, he's got to be Passacor. I don't know how.
just basically change into a funny voice and answer yourself.
Sure. Well, yeah, Passacor. So,
he said for the next year we're our own DMs.
So essentially, what I'm going to bring Passacor into the conversation, introduce him to Kara and Droop, so that they know what's going on. Try to get their buy-in, but at the same time, let Passacor know what's going on between Connor, Henry, and myself in developing this network and how we can use that to Passacor's advantage as well, if that makes sense. And then pulling people in to create a small society of eyeball worshipping people called the Illuminati.
Oh.
since I have this really cool robe that has a ton of eyes on it, and I have this ring of X-ray vision that has an eye on it, and I have a weird eye, it only makes sense to have the Illuminati. But that's I'm essentially going to do everything to kind of be two-faced. Away from everybody else. I'm developing the area around Phandalin, but at the same time, I'm serving Passacor as best I can to meet his needs.
Okay.
Interesting. You dirty.
Right, I'm going to shoot Manu next time I see him in the forehead. Just because I feel like it.
In the eye.
Am I raging?
No.
It's totally a sneak attack too. You're not going to see him coming.
I have all the eyes.
Still not going to see him.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you can see me if I'm hidden.
Yeah, actually, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
How it works.
I can see into the ethereal plane, and I can see.
Yeah, but if you're still hidden, you're still got to do a perception check to find me.
Yeah, I get advantage on all that.
Yeah, I get advantage on all the stuff, so it'll balance out, mate.
But you don't know any of this is going on. That's the thing. This is all going on inside the Stronghold. You don't know what's happening.
The plan's going to be, you see, is when we actually get all these, obviously freeing all the slaves, they are a perfect vessel to further our supply network around the globe.
Can I throw in another thing for Henry? I don't want to build a cathedral.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm just coming up with ideas. I'm just.
Yeah. You know. No. So this is what I want to do with Paige. Paige is my war player.
Okay.
We're going to build an orphanage / Spartacus style training grounds for all the freed slaves that have no place to go, and they're gonna need a place to go. So we're gonna create a place for them to go.
They can feed into the gendarme. They can feed into the spy network. Yeah,
we have everything covered on this. And also, if you,
this isn't human trafficking anymore. We're training you to be good slaves. You just added slavery with extra steps. That's all this is.
It's completely voluntary. You don't have to go. You can go.
Henry, and also what we can do, we do have Darkhold already, and that can be the perfect place to set this up.
In Darkhold?
Yeah.
So it'd be like the wall in Game of Thrones. You go there.
Yeah.
And not all the slaves gotta go the way of the warrior, if you will.
Yeah, they get choices. If you want a job, here's a job.
Yeah, we got a place for you. You want to go learn how to be a blacksmith? We'll send you to Phandalin. If you want to learn how to do, roguey shit, we know about it. If you want to go the way of the pious whatever. And I'm going to use this as a way to bring my new first level character in to tie into Henry.
Okay. Perfect. Awesome. I love it. I was talking to Kygon/Gary about this as well. Like, I always play Sir Timothy, no matter what. Like, I always play like the. So there's no. Eventually, I would just change my name at like level 19 to be like Sir Dave, so that the next one could be Sir Timothy again. But okay, so. And I want to work with this with Manu as well. So Passacor arrives, right, in his Gavin Rosdale, looking situation. You see, you feel the presence of much stronger presence than he's ever had. As you feel him, you do feel that you're talking to a level 21-ish looking dude now, because he's feeding off from everything that you've done, right? So he's gaining power. And you gain the sense that he's gaining power by everything that you're doing, and he's none too chill. Your eye making you neutral evil is more just true neutral at this point, based on what you've done. So you have still ownership, but it's just not gonna rise till good until, you know what I mean, wherever you want to go with your character's agency. He basically, describes to you the ship that you saw. He lets you know that the Reich Wave still exists. The path to the Avernus requires a significant amount of attunement. You can't just, without Mordenkainen level energy, and he's gone, right? Like, he's doing Mordenkainen stuff, being a mad mage out there. You need proper attunement to even get to this place. He mentions to you that the shield of the Hidden Lord is what you seek when you go to Baldur's Gate. He's like, there's going to be a summons for you to go to this parade that Older Raven Guard is putting on in Baldur's Gate as a FU to Lord Neverember, and to gain commerce and tourism a year later. So Oldar Ravengard, in a bid to try to keep his seat in Baldur's Gate. So Passacor is describing to you a ripe area for, you know what I mean, like where less than honorable dealings and lucre, like a real good place for trade to take place, that you should drive, as best you can to open up the ports to Baldur's Gate and get that up and running again. He mentions the Vanthampur family, growing into power, not telling you one way or the other about it, but that he believes that they are the ones that are controlling this unholy object that is potentially creating a lot of evil in Baldur's Gate. Like, it's turning the alignment of the city, and that's where it's coming from. He mentioned, and it's like the cultists are emerging in Baldur's Gate, called the Dead Three cultists. And that's like Bane, Ball, and Miracle, something like that. They're just like super evil demon, demon devil gods.
Right.
And that they are coming to fruition there. And he starts giving you insider info on, if you want this next level, your next, you know what I mean? Like, if you're in on this, start moving the business to Baldur's Gate.
Gotcha.
It's like you're doing in so doing that, Shellbucks will keep things running smooth with good luck. Good luck and trade down this path. Like, this'll blossom here. I need you to get into Baldur's Gate.
I will.
And
so I'll let him know that I'm establishing a port at Neratar, and once those plans are at least mostly underway, I will take the ships directly to Baldur's Gate and open a trade channel directly with Baldur's Gate from there.
He needs you to convince Aldar Ravengard to go, you know what I mean? Like, I need, if you get to Baldur's Gate, I need you to send Aldar Ravengard, you know, and just a handful of his knights, like a Flaming Fist, to go get Thavius Krieg to show up in Baldur's Gate. That's all he says. And he's like, and you cannot, you know what I mean? Like, do not go with him.
Gotcha. So send Aldar Ravengard needs to go to El Terrell
To bring Thavius Krieg into this. Into Baldur's Gate.
Into Baldur's Gate. Gotcha.
Like, so you get the sense that he wants, he needs someone powerful enough to convince, you know what I mean, Thavius Krieg to come to Baldur's Gate and strengthen some ties. He gives you this imagery of El Terrell being in its own political vacuum. Baldur's Gate, he describes what's going on in the Sunset Mountains, and he tells you that there's like the road is slowed down through that region, and you need to get, you know what I mean? Like, you need to convince Aldar Ravengard to go and pull Thavius Krieg in.
And where does this Shield of the Hidden Guard come into this?
You gotta find that. He's like, that is beyond my power. But you need to find it, and it's in Baldur's Gate. The Shield of the Hidden Lord. And
Shield of the Hidden Lord, okay.
Correct. And, you know, he, you know, as you know, the picture of, you know, the Gavin Rosdale AI thing that we have, he sits there and he pours out wine for you guys, and he's happy for you and Cara Dune and stuff. But it's never he wants you to do some like weird, crazy devil ritual or anything. It's like always business. You haven't figured out where, you know, Skylar knows that Manu's all tied up in some shenanigans. And he's basically like, if you do this, he's like, I will direct you to the Reichwave, and you will be the master of the River Styx, and your destiny is to bring whatever goodness you want into that next level to disrupt, you know what I mean, like the Blood Wars and Zariel's operations.
Damn it, take my money.
Yeah. Yep. But he shows you a vision of you being able to, like, you know, travel interplanes and stuff on this magic ship that Sir Timothy still needs to paint. Slash Epione, excuse me.
Sweet. Got it.
Okay. Do you accept?
I accept.
All right. You feel that level of warlock go in, and if you know what I mean, like that's going to be if 1 year later that, so we'll jump to that. We'll just, if you accept and so go ahead and however you want to do this, go ahead and roll for your, how could you think you can convince Aldar Ravengard to do this?
How would Manu do this?
So think about that, and I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
All right.
I need to. My AC's doing something weird, so
yeah, no
I'll
problem.
stew on that.
Get on
You
that
don't need
aircraft
AC.
commander.
You don't need AC.
Yeah. So Epione, there you are. You're talking to, you know, you and Silvira Savicus. She's very red-skinned tiefling wizard. Yellow robes, very thin, raven hair. You're in her laboratory for a long time. She lives in a tall spire in Candlekeep. You and the diva take an antechamber there. As you guys develop your backstory over a year, And what do you want to learn about the Avernus in specific, or do you want to? I know everything there is to know about the Avernus, or the Hells, or.
I just want to become familiar with it and know some of the history.
Okay.
And, what can be found there.
So you know that the Avernus was originally supposed to be a oasis for Asmodeus. He wanted a paradise, like a tricky paradise, as a 9th level of hell to coax people into another depths. So he wanted, a more beautiful, grander place. I think it was Baal or somebody disrupted that. Bell and split the Avernus into this huge desert where, like, if you go down to the Avernus, there are these rocky islands that are chained down and like floating from chains everywhere, like weird islands, big chains. And every once in a while you can see these oases in the Avernus, but they're really not there. The spell didn't catch. You know that there was a pit fiend named Bell that was supposed to run this, and he didn't necessarily live up to Asmodeus' standards. Zariel charges in with her, not her celestial kind of horde, a bunch of the Hell Riders, paladins and stuff, and the war kind of takes place, and Zariel gets tricked. She becomes the Archduchess, the Archdevil of Avernus by Asmodeus. You know that the river Styx travels the Avernus like north to south or whatever. It's always somewhere nearby. Asmodeus doesn't really fit in a weird timetable like we have. The landscape changes at all times. It's based on madness. So you can't just like whip out a compass and go someplace. If you follow a mountainscape, you'll follow it, and then days later it'll be gone. Exhaustion works heavily. If you go to this place, your alignment will shift if you don't take deliberate measures to stay good. You know that the Styx feeds to Abyss. The Abysses are a little bit different than the 9 Hells. The Abysses are run by demons, and they speak a different language, which is infernal, are what the devils speak, and the demons speak abyssal. They're constantly at war and trying to gain control of this last level that Asmodeus made, which is like a gateway to Faerun. Like, it's the closest evil area in the plains to Faerun. So whoever can gain control of this can pull in vacuum of more dead bodies to turn into whatever minions you want, right? It's like the minion farm for devils and demons.
What did you call that?
What? Call what? I said what?
The gateway to Faerun.
It's like Avernus is like like if you were to try to go to hell, Avernus is the first level. If you're trying to get maybe into the abyss or whatnot, there's the Styx where you can get into the abysses. It's kind of an easy. The way I'm homebrewing this, the Avernus it's controlled by devils right now, but demons want it to be able to pull in, souls, right? Asmodeus made it a place to be a primary area to pull in souls. And it's now why the blood wars take place between demons and devils. Demons being chaotic evil, which means, they're based on chaos, horror, like the weird serial killer shit. Devils are lawful evil. Just, they're very martial. They have ranks. They have structure, but it's, still hopelessly evil as well. But that's how it kind of works.
I'm talking to Was it Sevkris?
Yeah. Yeah. Silvira.
Silvira. All right, so I'm talking to her. I'm gonna ask her if she can actually show me Avernus.
Yeah, so she's able to hand you, she hands you a map that's like very, very, very hard to read. She's all she's got. She's got an ancient artifact. You look at it, and it's one of those things where you see off to the north of the map, you see Tiamat's temple. You see a river going through the center of it. You see Bel's fortress, things like that. You see a fortress. And then as you stare at Bel's fortress and you look back to see Tiamat's temple, it's not there anymore. You see the Bleeding Fortress or the Bleeding Citadel. And then you look at the Bleeding Citadel and you go back to Bel's fortress, and that's not there anymore. So it's like, it's really confusing, but you have an idea. What it does tell you is, here are some features. Here are some very important things, there. You see like this really cool ship flying through. It's just this black, it looks like almost like a razor, and it's there, and then it's gone. You see like 3 weird looking vehicles on this map, and imagine a map like Harry Potter's map, right? Where you see the little feet walking around. I forget what that is. But you see
Marauder's map.
Yeah, you see like 3 vehicles like ripping through, and then they kind of disappear. Then you see like
So it's a real-time map.
Yeah, it like opens up, and you see like a market open, and you can kind of like see little people, and as you look down, the landscape changes again.
Okay.
But it's like, it's a map, but it doesn't make any sense.
So, and then I'm gonna ask her if there's anyone on our, plane? Is there anyone on our plane currently who's been to Avernus?
Yes. She knows somebody who can attune themselves and get you there. And if need be.
Okay.
But she's got a name. And the dude has a name. It's a very good name.
It's Robert Paulson.
You can just make something up.
Robert Paulson.
Yeah.
So in death, we do have a name.
I don't know. I've never died.
Okay. She mentions this. She's like, look, she's been researching for years, and there's something called the Infernal Puzzle Box. Right? And this is my best voice acting for Silvira. She's like, there is something in Baldur's Gate that a very powerful family possesses that I cannot get near because she's an academician, right? Like she can't just Indiana Jones this thing, but she's like, but maybe you could infiltrate them and discover it. There is a gentleman named Traxagor who lives in Traxagor's tower out in the ocean. If you can get him the Infernal Puzzle Box, he could potentially attune to it and pass you into the Avernus. If you're trying to go see, you know what I mean? If that's your path. But the Infernal Puzzle Box, it was taken in the hands of these cultists named the Dead Three. And she's like, and from my research, I believe that there are cultists in Baldur's Gate that are run through Falmara Valthempur, a very powerful family, and that reside in Baldur's Gate. She's like, it's not something that you'd want to confront them about in public, just so you know. I'm pretty sure they're the guys that have this, because they're very interested in Avernus as well, but I don't think that they're trying to gain it for academic reasons. I think they're trying to do other things. She also mentions that they have been consuming, and when Alder Ravengard brought back the loot from Tiamat, due to some sort of tax collecting or whatever, dragon cultists who remain have been attacking their family and hunting them down because they skimmed a bunch of Tiamat's loot.
Sound like some greedy people there.
Greedy people.
Okay. What type of deeds do people do in order to remain good in the Avernus?
Oh, okay. Good question. Anything where you can think of if you wanted to build something like, Gladriel's got the little flask of water or whatever. There are devices out there. There are things that a high cleric can do that can readjust your alignment. So there are certain spells that can, if you're, she talks to you, she's like, if Henry were to cast spells, there's a spell, Henry, it's out there where you can readjust someone's alignment back to good. You can do that every night when you rest. If you rest in an alternate plane, Morgan's Magnificent Mansion, or something like that, you can rest in those places. So she gives you techniques like that, like make sure you have a good place to rest yourself. She does mention, and through your research, you do get the hint that when you try to pray and meditate, you get that there is a great deal of evil, that despite Tiamat going away, Celestia is the line of communication from that you normally had to Celestia to Lathander is broken. But through your staff and things like that, you do have the same powers, right? Like you can, through your material gifts that have been presented to you with your diva and the patron that you know of that's in that's the companion, you still have power.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Talk to
Loopholes.
So can I still talk through my chain?
Yeah, but you don't get answers like you used to. You can still speak to the diva and understand things that are, because he's been to Celestia. He knows a lot of stuff. He's a lesser angel. But when you try to speak to your patron, there's no answer. There's just feelings. Like the companion gives you feelings of yes or no.
Lathander is in Avernus right now, right?
Lathander's like a Mount Celestia type being. The Morning Lord.
Okay.
But their voices aren't coming through to people as much before. Like the sun rises, there is goodness and stuff, but people aren't hearing their message. It's up to you and like Henry to pass that. Does that make sense? Ish. Don't overthink that one.
How long has this blood war been going on?
Like a hot minute. Like almost forever. Avernus since the demons. And and we don't know which one's really influencing this. He lists Baphomet. He lists, the diva. When Nirvana went down to recover your Zariel, Baphomet and Orcus were creating a lot of the issues and leading the hordes. It's like there's hordes of demons, right, that fight legions of devils. That's how you'll think about it. Like hordes of mass, plague, pestilent fruit flies of demons fighting very organized legions of devils fighting back.
Okay. So I'm going to take this information. and ask Nirvana if he wants to go to Baldur's Gate with me.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll go, of course, like, blonde hair. Like, he's very, a silent, he's, soft, he's very soft spoken or whatever, but you just know that wherever you go, your tank's going with you. So he's got.
Obviously, there's something going on, and there's a reason why we can't speak to our companions, and we need to figure this out. With Ander.
Okay. Okay. Liam or Kropgar, go. 1 sec. I think you might have to. I gotta. Yeah, you can just pop in if you want to. Just be like, hey. But yes, and then we'll pause on everybody, and then the last chapter ish of their year, I'll hit. What's up, Kropgar?
So I just had some questions about character that I'm kind of developing, Nakai.
Yeah.
So there is it's loosely based off of Warhammer lore, and I wanted to make him a little bit bigger than the lizard folk is capable of being in.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, sweet.
Goliath lizards, man. No, as long as if you guys like it, I love it. We can homebrew whatever on your next. That's fine, man. But that next chapter is like March.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just being prepared.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
He's trying to sign on now, so
he's just trying to kind of get the idea of what he looks like now, so that it makes sense in March when we come back to him.
So basically, you don't know this, Manu, but your next party are watching you walk into this village, and there's going to be scaffolding and trade going around, and the new party, when they arrive to Phandalin, are watching you and Cara Dune doing these things, and so they're there like right now. Over this year, that's where the other party will take off. When you guys dip down into hell, the party, you know what I mean, will start.
Will blossom. Gotcha.
Moving. So it's kind of a Quentin Tarantino situation. But okay. Yeah, so what do you want to do with that guy? What are you thinking with Nakai?
So when I find him, I'm gonna as Kropgar kind of nurse him back to health.
Yep.
And then.
So if you want him in the party, what I'm saying is, at some point you gotta pat him on the butt, and he's like, "Well, I'm heading north." You know what I mean? Like, gonna go check out Phandalin for some reason, because whoever it is, you have to come up with your backstory to somehow get them into. You guys all meet in a tavern somewhere, and that's long down the road, so we won't waste too many brain bites on that.
Yeah, I just had questions about the stature thing. I didn't know if there was gonna be limitations on that.
Nope.
Okay.
Am I assuming Paige is in Darkhold as a liaison to Henry?
Yeah. Paige is going to be the orphanage meister.
Okay. Orphanage meister. Yeah. Definitely not slave master. You know what I mean? We're using other terms here where you're coaxing the people that are freed into taking other jobs without money. Got you. Yeah. You're not going to be paid, but hey, you're free.
You just don't get it. You don't get it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I get it.
What was the line from Thor? So the people when they were, was it Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah. Oh,
he's like,
I don't like that term. The people that work for free. Yeah.
The people that work for free.
We are giving them purpose and meaning.
Yes, I get it. Okay, so this is the part where I'll go around and be like, do you level up? Do you take a feat? Do you whatever? How'd you do it? Okay, Connor, this is it. You're about to 1 year later. What do you think?
I don't know. Basically, I'll be obviously being the more martial one of our group.
Okay.
That's going to be at the Darkhold. I'll be dealing with a lot of the training, a lot of the various elements of the. There'll be the stalkers, which are going to be a new breed of gloomstalkers to help things, but also I'm going to be training a lot more with the martial guys, just to sort of get my going back to basic sort of basic boot camp, basically, to help people and inspire the new recruits.
Okay, roll a let's see, because you're inspiring. Sure, roll with advantage. Charisma check.
19 again, so it's 21. Why is everybody else getting nat 20s? It's not fair. I want a 20.
Dude, I rolled 2 1s with advantage.
That's fair. That's true. I get that.
I'll say the 20 Zentarum that you have, that you trained, you could you can offshoot them as stalkers, and they are over a year. They are level 5. You have 20 level 5s that you can do, you know what I mean? Like, that you can place and be lieutenants or whatever along the way.
Nice.
You want a feat or a level? And what'd you do,
tempted, DM? I am tempted to take a level in fighter.
It's fine. I'm just so that's no problem. So the way Descent into Avernus will work for you guys, I'm going to keep it by the books, but it's you just going to be, you'll be able to race through it, right? Because you'll be a higher level. But what I'll say is there's going to be additional big bads along the way, right? Like, so where you were going to run into whatever, you're running into a couple, you know what I mean? Like, this dude has 2 pit fiends as guards. Like, it's going to be, you know, a little bit more challenging if you go down the murder hobo route.
I'm not a murder hobo. What are you on about? Jeez.
So,
Joyce,
what was the culminating thing you, as your own DM, that leveled you up to fighter? Was it the training of the stalkers? So this is how.
Yeah, training the stalkers, but also there's multiple people here. We've got the stalkers, we've got the police force, we've got these and all those sort of different people. Yep. I can't just do the stalker thing, so I was trying to sort of be more of like a leader type thing.
Yep.
And I was thinking fighter would sort of do that for me.
So you've got, what if you'd say 20, so you can put them in teams of 5s in all these cities to kind of pass, you know, support each other in cells and stalker cells, and just
and also what we are doing is obviously we have got the merchant side that we are going to do. So there are going to be, we need to make money, we need to keep the trade routes open, we need to make sure we're moving around. So these will be the lieutenants that are managing that whole trade. And obviously, if other things need to be done whilst they're around, they are able to look after themselves.
Okay, Paxicor comes in during these times, mentions this somehow to Manu, and just like, you could have a front of shellbucks across Faerun that these dudes can stop and use as a, you know what I mean, like as their front as well, just as a nudge, and that can be a thing. All right, so level up a fighter. So you're a level what, 17 now?
Hang on, yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's go to Willie Dragonoff. You have established pretty well. Now there's a keep, since we didn't do a full cathedral, there was still a pretty decent cathedral of tier in Waterdeep. It just doesn't become, you know, something like Notre Dame, you know, it's still there. There's a keep on the side where the gendarme can work by, with, and through inside Waterdeep. Your gendarme has roughly, let's do a charisma check with advantage for you. And you might be muted. Still muted, brother.
you go.
Yep, got it. Nope.
Technology, eh? Who'd have it?
Hello?
Oh, while he's doing that, I'm in the restroom. Be right back.
We can see your mouth moving, but nothing's.
Dad, sort him out.
I'm so glad we have somebody that has more trouble with technology than me. I'm
How about
usually the
now?
worst.
There we go.
Anything?
Yep.
Okay. So I rolled a nat 20 again. I'm gonna do, since I'm working with Henry kind of hand in hand, and I'm surrounded by the faith, I wanted to work in a feat of, let's see, Fey touched.
Fey touched?
Yes.
Ooh.
That was a rough one. For which one?
So let's see. FEY touch.
Yeah. Well, there's charisma, intelligence, and wisdom.
Okay. I'm looking at something else here then, but it says gives any fighter access to spell casting.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Is that a feat that you picked up?
It is, but I'm trying to figure out.
Oh yeah.
Which,
so you get to
one?
pick which attribute you want to level up: charisma, intelligence, or wisdom, and then you get to choose the spell.
Okay. I will go with wisdom. And then I will have to do some digging to see what spells.
Yeah, sure.
But did you
roll
catch the backstory of how I got the so I rolled a nat 20 again.
Nice. And then you did what now?
So I chose Fate Touch because working through and with Henry and having kind of been surrounded by the faith and everything that he's doing, I worked myself back into, I guess, faith.
Oops. I think you muted yourself real quick. Oh.
Had a wild beast came in here. So yeah, just being surrounded by the clerics, I kind of got my faith back, and I started working towards that path, and that's why I came up with Faith Touched. So,
okay.
And that'll be wisdom, and then, like I said, I'll need to look at the spells and choose one.
Sure. Okay. You raise roughly a company. Well, we'll say you like we'll say, about 100 gendarme from the city's watch that have that felt like they wanted a better alignment, and they also had a better skill set that you could trust. So about 100, Waterdeep gendarme police the city, police the police, and it goes like fantastically. I drive out a lot of corruption, and Waterdeep is probably in its high times of good, and you can take another level as well.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
And then, yep. So that works out perfectly. You can design over the year. You can design your armor. I don't know if you wanted to look like a samurai, but your plate mail could be like full samurai kit if that's how you want to roll. And you can design the emblems and branding of your gendarme however you wish as well.
Awesome.
Henry, as he's doing this as well, you notice over the past year, you get back in and you train a little bit with with Lightbringer, and you notice that every time that you do damage, you get an additional 1d6 radiant damage. Every time you deal, like with weapon damage. So just remember that. You get like, add another 1d6. So if you're what's your weapon, sacred weapon and stuff like that, now we'll do an extra 1d6 damage.
Is that radiant damage or just damage?
Radiant damage. It's pretty cool. Let's see, where is the Henry stuff? You get to learn. Oh, I didn't pick it. Oh, that's right. Cleric spell. So, automatically, without any recharge, you can get that. Oh, so the recharge is this spell that you get every day has a recharge of, it's called like, you roll a 6. If you get a 6, or a d6, if you get a 6, you can cast it again. If you don't get a 6, you have to wait till tomorrow. And the spell, I'll read it off to you, but it's basically that spell that you can readjust and restore someone's alignment, or you know what I mean, like bring them back to good. So that works out well. And you'll see, spoiler alert, you'll go to a place that'll need that, but you can do that.
That sounds like a thing we could use on Manu.
Yeah, but we don't know Manu's a baddie or teetering.
What makes you think I'm a baddie?
Talking with a demon. Is he?
You are resistant to acid damage permanently. And you already got the +2 wisdom. So that's from the Exalted book of Exalted. So just to absorb that book. So Connor absorbed his book, Epionia absorbed her book, Kygon I think did one as well. Or no, yeah. Okay. So who was that? That was Henry. How do you want to wrap up your year of what do you want? So already law and order is established in Waterdeep. So you got that going for you, and you got a pretty awesome ally running a gendarme in the area.
So as I see, I don't know if it's more like the Spartacus Ludus or Professor X's Home for Wayward Children kind of orphanage. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's combined. We're cultivating people's natural skills, talents, and abilities. Maybe mutants, who knows? But we're also teaching them how to take care of themselves, because that's the kind of benevolence we roll.
Okay.
In training them, I will continue to level up as a cleric, but I got tough during this time. I got tough because I'm an old, battered war veteran who killed a beast, and that's.
You took a feat? You took a feat?
I took the feat of tough.
Okay.
Because Henry's now gritty.
Okay.
Gritty, god-slaying veteran.
Okay.
And that'll bump me up about 30 hit points.
Okay. I will say, through this, collectively across the good aligned, priests, you're like the Archbishop of Waterdeep, and like an equivalent of the Unmasked Lord.
Okay.
So through all this goodness stuff, roll with advantage. Your D20s, and this is how all of this wrapped up. Because you want to bring the world back together, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So 16.
Okay. It's not. The ties aren't broken, but it's status quo with Baldur's Gate in Neverwinter. So it's not as bad as it was, but they have at least, are full on members of the Lords of Alliance exists. Say with a 16. and you managed to, through difficulty, and the difficulty being you made Waterdeep good, so that drove out certain avenues of making things, and that's how that kind of got weird. But you're leading that path there. Let's see, Liam and so Krakgar and Kaigon. It's the end of the year. If you want to DM yourselves, how did you get this next? What did you do? What was your big thing?
I'm basically going to use Skyreach as like a mobile fort, and I'm going to use it as like a staging point and just kick all the bad guys' asses everywhere I go, because I'm a barbarian and that's what I do. Okay.
Krakgar, are you heading with?
I'm gonna spend some time cleaning up Skyreach, and after that I'll probably head back up to the castle as well.
So, interesting fact. Since you decided to take Skyreach, roll. You guys both roll with each other.
8. What am I rolling for? Is this a? I rolled an 8.
16.
16 charisma. So total?
I'm not going to help much. So 9 total.
Okay. It just depends on who's like this is. It appears to be Krakgar really kind of led the two of you in this. You know what I mean? Based on he kind of. What'd you get?
14.
Oh, you have a negative? Nice. So you guys, you didn't do as much good as you wanted to. But Skyreach, lightning bolts are being shot out of Skyreach, and this Star Destroyer of Justice it shows up, and the bad guys are out, but it's kind of it's more of a Death Star than it is. It comes out, it doesn't have the vibe that you guys like. People aren't like, yay, Skyreach is here. So
I picture a Monty Python thing floating through the air, just shooting lightning bolts all over, and everybody's like, what is this thing doing?
Another side to this, Steve grew up. Steve is now an adult silver dragon. All right, so Steve goes from a bit of a Naruto personality to a bit of a Tom Hardy kind of personality throughout this, as he's kind of broing out with 2 barbarian fighter rogue lizard dwarf orcs, as opposed to like he was on a path of being like a little bit fruity, and now he's taking a bit of a darker side. So Steve lives in the base, and you guys kind of floating around, and you've learned to ride Steve, so you guys have that ability if you want to. But he's part of your group. Blagothgus is very reserved, and he uses most of his powers to run Skyreach. You guys have 8 ogres that are good-ish, that serve you and run the ballistas, and if Skyreach lands or whatever, they chain it off and things like that to anchor it and stuff. So you've got those 8 ogres. I would say you can't leave Skyreach alone, but like Steve and the ogres are what keep you guys keep it secure when you guys leave, so that another denizen.
They're not slaves, are they? They're not slaves. Do they get paid?
Yeah. Sure.
They're just unpaid workers.
Let's see who we missing. Maybe when Epione comes back, okay, so this is what we'll break off to. Manu, how'd you finish your year, and how do you convince Aldar Ravengard?
Well, in the year, Kara, Droop, and I were essentially call ourselves an adventuring party of sorts, assisting in the with Darren cleaning up Krakgar Keep, and essentially cleaning up the areas around Leylon. So from that, what was the feat that I looked at? Weapon Master. So
Okay.
Kara and I work together, mastering several different weapons, so that it really just gives me an extra dex
Okay.
and like proficiency in some other weapons. But
Okay.
I figured that would make sense since we're fighters, barbarians, whatever. But as far as with Olar Ravengard, ahead of us meeting up in Baldur's Gate, I'm going to send a missive actually, and if I could set this up through Henry as well to get buy-in from Waterdeep.
Bye, Dragonoff.
To basically send a message to him that we understand that the rift between Elturel and Baldur's Gate, but we need Krieg. I need Krieg at this. We need to have the entire realm together as this, anniversary of the fall of Tiamat, and if he could personally see that Krieg shows up, on the eve of our celebration, and remind him of the traders bars, and use that as a bargaining chip to ensure that he carries out this task himself.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead and do a charisma check.
For me?
For Manu on this missive.
It would be a 16.
I think is that literally like the fourth 16 that we've rolled today? Like, you guys, your dies are all synced up. Okay. So you get the idea that'll play out how it does, like whether or not you'll find out whether or not he went and collected Thavius Krieg when you get there, but you didn't get a very firm answer on that.
Gotcha. And aside from that, yeah, that would be that. So
okay. All right. So you all get to the point where you're starting to realize that it's about that time. Like, you get letters in the mail that state that greeting noble duchy of Skyreach. You're cordially invited to Baldur's Gate for the first inaugural. Is there a first inaugural parade for the very first inaugural premiere, first time ever, celebration of the fall of Tiamat in Baldur's Gate. And it happens in 10 days, which gives you guys all time to, collect at Baldur's Gate for the next session. I guess the next thing that we'll wrap this up with is, what does Argent Kenny do over the next over the year?
So after he left Elturel, he went back to Baldur's Gate to his family.
Yep.
And
that's where he found out that his father became a tax collector for what's their name? I hate how they come up with these names. They make it so impossible to say. Thalarama, Valthalampur. I just don't even like who's got the time to say that. You know
I
what
can
I mean?
help with names.
Thalarama, Valathalampur,
Thelma.
Vanthampur, the Vanthampurs.
Xanthopur?
Vanthampurs, yeah. The Vanthampurs are their last name.
The Van Panthers.
Yeah.
Van Panthers? Yeah, I like that. I was going to go with some Thelma.
So, obviously, he's trying to build a cult himself of Cult of Hestor, but it's kind of, there's nothing inherently evil about it necessarily. It's just,
yeah,
it's lowbrow. It's lowbrow evil. Like it's just weird. It's just weird.
And he's trying to connect with everybody there. Oldar Ravengard approaches him someday through one of his aides. We'll say Captain Zodge comes up to him, asks for an audience of Argent Kenny.
Absolutely. So yeah.
And he asks, Oldar Ravengard asks Argent to accompany him to go to Alterel.
Absolutely.
To go collect Fabius Krieg.
Absolutely.
Okay, and this is like 10 days out. We'll be right back. Like we're gonna go 5 days there and 5 days back. We'll single-handedly bring Fabius Krieg back to Baldur's Gate as you guys all work your way. I'll let
Oldar Ravengard know what Krieg asked of me, and that I was partially complicit in what he was doing, so that I could subvert his plans, whatever his plans were.
Okay.
And I have plans for Krieg myself.
Okay. Connor, Henry, go ahead.
I'd like a re-attack and
okay.
Go ahead with Connor, and I'll hit you with my re-attack.
Yep. So Connor, it's 10 days away. You press. How do you leave? You're now leaving your last orders to whatever, you know what I mean, as you go to Baldur's Gate to, prior to the next session.
Yeah, fine. Just checking, because obviously we haven't covered one thing. Remember we were trying to get the Waterdeep people to take out some of the Zentrum?
Yes.
So
like I said, it's clean. We did cover that. So if you want those Zents out, he rolled a nat 20. Like, they're out.
They're out, and we've taken all the good stuff off them. So
that's why it's a good place to be, Waterdeep, but it's not. Yeah, that's why the Lord's Alliance is kind of a weird place. But yeah,
that's fair enough. I'll basically just give them orders to make sure that they increase our spy network and find out what each of the main areas are doing, so we're not caught off guard if any of them try to act out of place.
Okay. You want to leave solo, or you want to bring anybody with you back to Baldur's Gate?
No, I'm going to leave. Basically, what we've got is I've got obviously our two. You got the Jamnada?
Jamna and Jonada. Sorry, yeah, Jamna, Gleam Sliver, or something like that, and
yeah. So Jamna's going to be in charge at the Darkhold.
Okay.
And the other guy is going to be out managing the spy network.
Okay, perfect. And cutscene, you drive and you see the industrial kind of smoke, the smog of Baldur's Gate as you take the Choanthar River or whatever you decide all the way to Baldur's Gate. Epione, you receive the same letter that you can 10 days from now head down there. Epione, you plan on heading to Baldur's Gate? Okay, yeah, don't worry. Yeah, we're wrapping it up right now. So, you bring Nirvana with you, or? Okay, all right. So you and Slater, I think you had aspirations to didn't you want a pet dragon or something? There was a whole bunch of things you were saying, but anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I did, but maybe.
As you guys are flying there, you kind of see Krokgar and Kygon. You guys are going to take Skyreach to Baldur's Gate. You're going to ride it in, show up as gangsters. All right, so you guys have a chance to actually be in Skyreach. You guys collect there. Manu, you take Daisy and Daryl or whatever down the...
taking the ship.
Which one?
The Indefatigable.
Indefatigable. Okay. All right, the Indefatigable.
Actually, we'll bring both. We'll bring both.
Well, I forgot what the both were. Anyway.
Cthulhu's Revenge and the Indefatigable.
Okay, yep. So you take both ships down. You want to pick up Henry and Dragon off on the way?
Absolutely. We can
All
make a
right.
stop in Waterdeep.
Henry, you see your old friend after almost a year, stops down in Waterdeep, but you had one last thing you wanted to do. And you're muted.
I was looking at my spells, and I have a spell called I believe it's I think Holy Temple. I don't know if you're familiar with this.
Yep. Or you can build a church.
So, yes, and if I cast it every day for a year, it's permanent.
Oh. Okay.
I want to apply this somehow.
Okay. Fair. You did. And you can if you want to describe it like, yeah, in Waterdeep. How does it look? What does it look like?
It's magnificent. I don't know how it looks yet. It looks kind of like the Professor X's school.
Okay. All right.
Like the Danger Room almost. I don't know. Let me figure that part out.
Okay.
But I'm going to create a good temple to Tyr.
Okay.
And Tyr alone. I just wanted to add that. I'll figure out the details.
You know, Manu, as you drive up, as you sail up, as you drive up, beep, 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 you back in. You see some sort of magnificent temple that wasn't there before, and it's a totally different Waterdeep. It's clean. The Drunken Duck down at the, there was a seedy, pirate establishment. Now that's all cleaned up, and you see. Yeah, it's the Silver Duck now, Steve's Silver Duck, and you see Town's Watch, but you also see, the White Cloaks also at the same time, kind of checking in on them. You see a lot of order, and you pick up the Archbishop Henry, who's the, if there was a Queen Elizabeth and then like Parliament, he's the, the de facto, he's the royalty-ish of Waterdeep.
Does he have a Pope mobile?
Heck yeah. He gets brought down. The dude's like bringing him up on his shoulders. So him and Dragonoff arrive. They get on the boat, and you guys sail off to Baldur's Gate. And you guys, as you guys arrive to Baldur's Gate, you see the ominous Skyreach and Steve, an adult silver dragon, kind of flying over. Connor, you see the same thing. You see the port and stuff like that, and you guys collect. And what we'll do is, I believe that's a good stopping point. It's kind of a short little episode because 1 year later is kind of a pain in the butt to do when I kick off the next ceremony. So you guys will all head to Baldur's Gate. You'll go to some sort of hall that I'll read about. It's probably the Elf Song Tavern, I'm gonna guess, is where you guys will all arrive together. You guys hear lore of the Elf Song Tavern is this, there's a ghost that sings like every evening for about an hour, and you guys heard about this, and you guys will all, collect there for whatever reason, and meet. Probably mid-November, I'm guessing, because it's going to get super busy here for a little bit with Halloween and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, that's how we'll do that. And then what we'll do, Descent into Avernus will be our next campaign. And as I've mentioned, Descent into Avernus is kind of a decision-based thing. There are people you could fight if you wanted to, but everything is more influencing and discovery and figure things out and trying not to become, a pit fiend yourself. But yeah. So that's what's up.
Well, I was gonna say, during that 1 year, I'm gonna establish a relationship with Form.
Okay. Okay.
Since, we've kind of been on the rocks my whole life.
Piece of cake. Yeah, that's no problem. You can build a little chapel on Skyreach to them and stuff like that, and yeah, that works. But
you can go on a Torm retreat to find yourself somewhere.
Yeah. So that's it. Rise of Tiamat is closed. We've completed Strahd, Lost Mines, the Fandelvers, Horde of the Dragon Queen and Rise of Tiamat to become what level are you now?
17.
Kaigon?
I'm 15. I think Liam is the lowest at 14.
Okay, so
Oh,
he
did we
went
go
up
up?
to, but you guys could level up during this 1 year. That's what I said. Like,
Oh.
you're your own DM. How did you level up?
So from Tiamat to now, we leveled up twice.
Yes.
Oh shit! Well, I got work to do.
Yeah. So you
I
should
thought
be.
you said it was a feat or a level.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I said a feat or a level.
Oh, forget the feat then. Just the level.
At 16, I took the feat. I wanted to take the feat.
Oh yeah, but that's your normal. That's your 16th
That's
level.
your normal.
That's-
Okay. So now I need to. Okay. I will sort my life out.
Yeah, between what you and Dragonov were doing to collectively make Waterdeep what it is right now, that's how you level up over a year. Same with Apione, the knowledge that she learns from Candlekeep. So what Apione has right now is she is the subject matter expert of Avernus. So when she goes down there, she basically, if she doesn't, she's a pretty decent guide of whatever. And remember, your thing was the infernal puzzle box, I think, is what you're kind of looking for. Manu, the shield of the hidden lord. So when you guys arrive together, imagine you guys are all arriving a year later at the Elf Song Tavern is where we'll pick up again before the next, as I hook you guys into the next thing.
Real quick, the Warlock level wouldn't take effect until the next level, correct?
Nope, you got it right now.
Okay, that's what that was. Okay, gotcha.
Yep, that's no problem. Because as I mentioned, the way that Avernus goes, like, so if you guys wanted to do the 1 year level up, it's up to your character, but you'll miss the dopamine push of leveling up for a little bit. And I'll have things be more chapter episodic. Like, you'll be able to understand when you solve things in the Avernus or start pushing back evil to get things under control.
Oh shit. Just so you guys are tracking, at 17 level cleric, Henry no longer rolls dice for his heals.
It's just
You get maxed.
oof. Okay.
We'll need that.
Yeah, and don't forget now with the book, Henry casts everything +1 level. So my 4 level spells, 5 level, 6, carry the 9, all the way through now. I have a 9 level spell.
The one thing that I would say is difficult now is divine intervention. So there's going to be a lot of like issues now that Mount Celestia is broken. So like you want to do a divine intervention, probably not going to happen until you guys solve whatever, and that would have impacted all clerics across from Faerun. But yeah, that's it. Descent into Avernus. Going to be fun times.
We're gonna raise hell. Or
Indeed.
something.
No, we're gonna raise Celestial.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
we'll swing to the left.
And then, we won't try to speed through it, but we'll see. I think it should take about 2-3 months per, if it's 2 sessions per a chapter kind of thing. That's how we normally do stuff. 2 to 3 sessions. And then, we'll start out, like, as I mentioned, your characters right now are building the lore and the scenario for your level 1 characters that are now departing. When he said Nikaya or whatever that he built, that guy's leaving, and for some reason he's heading to Phandalin, where your next level 1 guys in Icewind Dale will kick off.
Is it feasible for my next character to be somebody that goes through Henry's orphanage?
It's Dungeons and Dragons, baby. Like, anything can happen. So we were mentioning, like, oh, what if I want to be a water breather? How do I do this? Like, cool, we'll give you an apparatus to do whatever. I mean, make a character that you really, want to have fun playing. It doesn't have to be challenging to you unless you want to have a challenge. So, yeah. But in the background right now, don't forget, you guys are creating the, you know what I mean? Like, You guys are going off on the fight Thanos, situation into the Avernus. And which will be kind of cool because like you're rolling around in Phandalin, and now we have a lot of deep lore of what Waterdeep looks like if you ever to travel there. You know, it's like a lot of justice. And Neverwinter is kind of whack because Neverember didn't play along because of the 2 1s that Henry rolled on that one.
It's okay. I'll just take him out. It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
real quick, with Argent, level up, yes, because I've got him at 13 right now.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
He's leveling up because he's doing it's too late, but he's off on a thing right now.
Right. Yep.
Warduke leveled up as well. You guys don't know this, but he leveled up.
So check this out, guys. Since I can roll level 9 spells. I have True Resurrection,
which is
I can bring back a creature that is willing that has been dead for no longer than 200 years.
Yikes. Warduke?
So there's not too much of a time limit on that.
I thought you said Warduke was alive.
He's always alive in here.
And I got a cool one called Gate. I create a portal linking an unoccupied space within range to a precise location on a different plane of existence.
Ooh.
This is sick. These were the spells I was waiting for. Now I truly feel overpowered.
Very nice.
So can I come back as a 17th level wizard for the next one?
Yeah, no thanks.
No.
We'll have to dilute leveling for wizards if we're gonna have parties of 9. Like for every one level for everybody else. Like every time everybody levels up twice, you can level up once.
So an inflict wounds at this level is 12 die 10.
Whoa!
Yeah, a mass cure wounds is, and this is the a mass cure wounds, which is 6 creatures within 30, is 66 plus 16, so 80 for everybody.
Damn. So we're all 17. So Epione went up 1 as well, right? In Candlekeep? No.
Oh, another one? So I would be.
No. Well, it's a feat or a level, and you're your own DM in deciding what you want to do. We were kind of discussing that, but you, through being we'll come up with some term of Candlekeep, like a Grand Meister of Candlekeep, like one of the head librarians, you get to achieve that. But yeah, the bottom line is I kind of want you OP in Avernus so that you can just super sleuth it all the way to a couple homebrewed scenarios to push back whatever's influencing, you know what I mean, the blood wars the way they are right now. You'll see when we all meet up again, it'll all make sense. But probably the second, what do you think, the 2nd or 3rd week of November, I'll let you guys know. We'll meet up for session 0 of Descent of Avernus / you guys are level 17s, but it'll be fun. And then try to bring in a couple other folks, and then we're off.
Oh man.
That's all I got to say about that. Have a fun Halloween, everybody.
You're a Halloween.
Heck yeah.
If Kargar takes a level instead of a feat, that'll put him at level 15.
Yeah, if I think he could just take a level because he's kind of behind us. So no matter what, he advance a year or advance a level just to catch up with the party. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll let him know. He's doing baby stuff right now.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, that's all I got. Descent into Avernus.
Thanks to everybody for watching. We'll be back next month, and in the meantime, I'll probably start streaming some Final Fantasy stuff just to keep the stream going. And so come watch me play Final Fantasy.
I don't want to know anything about your fantasies.
Yes, you do. You absolutely do.
No.
Well, your last one.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.